Serpent Mound, near Kentucky border. There are places in America where the ground itself feels like it is trying to tell you something. You walk in expecting dirt and trees, and instead you feel watched. Not in a scary way, but in a quiet, patient way. Near the Kentucky border, just across the river in southern Ohio, there is one of those places. From the air, it looks like a giant snake, frozen in time, stretched across a ridge, its body curling and twisting with purpose. This is the Serpent Mound, and for centuries, it has made people stop, stare, and ask the same question. Why is it here? Imagine standing there before modern roads, before fences, before signs telling you where to walk. The land rises gently, and then you see it. A long earthen shape, built from soil carried by human hands, shaped carefully into a serpent nearly a quarter-mile long. Its head is wide, its mouth open, and right in front of that mouth is an oval shape, like an egg or maybe the sun. The body coils back and forth in smooth curves, following the edge of the ridge, as if the snake is alive and moving. No one left a written message explaining it. No plaque from the builders. No carved stone saying who they were or what they believed. That silence is what makes this place so powerful. It invites mystery. The Serpent Mound is not a burial mound, which already makes it strange. Many ancient mounds in this region were built to honor the dead. This one holds no bodies. It exists only as a shape, pressed into the earth. That alone tells us it mattered deeply to the people who made it. You do not move thousands of tons of soil just for decoration. For a long time, people argued about who built it. Some believed it was made by the Adena culture, others by the Fort Ancient people. What most experts agree on now is that it was likely shaped around 1,000 years ago, maybe earlier, by Native American builders who understood the land, the sky, and the seasons far better than we often give them credit for. One of the strongest mysteries of Serpent Mound is its connection to the heavens. When you stand near the head of the serpent, you are standing at a place that lines up with the sun during important times of the year. The summer solstice, the sun reaches its highest point. The winter solstice, when the days are shortest. The curves of the body may even reflect the path of the sun across the sky. This suggests the mound was more than art. It may have been a giant calendar or a sacred place where people gathered to mark time itself. The serpent shape is also important. Across many ancient cultures, the snake is a powerful symbol. It can mean rebirth, because snakes shed their skin. It can mean danger, wisdom, earth energy, or the boundary between worlds. For the people who built Serpent Mound, the snake may have represented the balance between life and death, sky and earth, light and darkness. There is also the egg, or oval shape, at the mouth. Some say the serpent is swallowing it. Others say it is releasing it. Is it the sun being eaten during an eclipse? Is it new life being born? Is it a warning or a blessing? The builders never answered us, and that unanswered question keeps the mystery alive. Standing there today, you can feel how carefully the mound was placed. It sits on a high ridge formed by an ancient meteor impact. Yes, the ground we details. Light is the train of something falling. That fact alone adds another layer to the story. A serpent of earth, built on land shaped by fire from space. Coincidence or choice? We may never know. Over the years, the Serpent Mound has drawn many kinds of people. Archaeologists came to measure and study. Historians came to compare it with other ancient sites. Spiritual seekers came to feel its energy. Tourists came out of curiosity, and with each group came new ideas, new stories, and sometimes new damage. That brings us to the reality of the site today, both the good and the bad. On the positive side, the Serpent Mound is protected. It is cared for as a historic and cultural site. There are walking paths that allow visitors to see the full shape without stepping on it. There is a small museum nearby that explains what we know about the mound and the people who built it. Because of this protection, the mound still exists in clear form, which is honestly a small miracle considering its age. The land around it is quiet. When you visit, you hear birds, wind through the trees, and your own footsteps. That quiet helps people connect with the place. It still feels sacred, even after centuries of change. But there are negatives too, and they matter. The biggest problem is erosion. The mound is made of earth, not stone. Rain, snow, and time slowly wear it down. Even careful walking nearby can change the soil over years. Climate changes have made storms stronger, and that puts the mound at risk. Another issue is misunderstanding. Some visitors treat it like a simple tourist stop. They rush through, take pictures, and leave without respect. Others bring extreme ideas, claiming wild stories that erase the real Native American history behind it. That can be harmful because it takes the story away from the people whose ancestors actually built it. There is also the sadness that the builders' descendants were pushed from this land. The mound still stands, but the culture that created it was broken by force. That truth sits quietly beneath every step you take there. Despite these negatives, the Serpent Mound still speaks. When I think about this place, what strikes me most is its patience. It has watched civilizations rise and fall. It has seen forests grow and be cut down. It has felt storms, droughts, footsteps, and silence. And still, it keeps its shape, still asking the same questions. Why a serpent? Why here? Why so carefully aligned with the sky? My opinion is this: the Serpent Mound was built to remind people that they are part of something bigger. Bigger than one lifetime, bigger than one tribe, bigger than even the land itself. It connects earth to sky, past to future. It tells us that ancient people were not simple or lost. They were thinkers. They watched the stars. They planned far ahead. They built with meaning. Today, the present situation of the Serpent Mound is fragile but hopeful. It is still standing. It is still protected. People still care. But it needs respect, understanding, and protection to survive another 1,000 years. If we treat it as just a mystery to consume, it will fade. If we treat it as a message left by ancient hands, it might continue to teach us. And maybe that is the real mystery. Not what the serpent means, but whether we are wise enough to listen. Indian Fort Mountain stone walls. There are mountains that feel empty, and then there are mountains that feel built. Indian Fort Mountain in eastern Kentucky is the second kind. From a distance, it looks like just another wooded ridge, quiet and green, rising above the town of Berea. But once you climb higher, once you move past the normal hiking paths and into the rougher ground, something changes. Stones begin to appear where stones should not be. Lines form where nature usually stays random. And slowly, the truth becomes impossible to ignore. Someone was here long before us, and they did something that still does not fully make sense. Indian Fort Mountain is known for its strange stone walls and terraces that wrap around the ridge near the top. These are not neat castle walls or clean blocks stacked like modern buildings. They are low, rough, and sometimes broken, but they stretch for long distances. In some places, they curve with the shape of the mountain. In others, they cut straight across slopes where walking is already difficult. The first question everyone asks is simple. Why would anyone build stone walls up here? There is no easy answer, and that is where the mystery begins. The walls are old, very old. They were already ancient when early settlers arrived in Kentucky. Native American groups who lived in the area during historic times said they did not build them. That alone creates a gap in the story. If the people living nearby did not build them, then who did? And why did the knowledge disappear? Some believe the walls were built by the Fort Ancient culture, a prehistoric group known for earthworks and hilltop sites. Others think the Adena people may have started the work even earlier. But no one agrees fully, because Indian Fort Mountain does not fit neatly into what we expect. Most known forts from these cultures used earth and wood. Stone was heavy, hard to move, and usually avoided unless absolutely necessary. So why stone here? As you walk along the walls, another strange thing becomes clear. These walls would not work very well as defense. They are too low in many places. They follow the ridge instead of blocking clear paths. They do not surround water sources. If this was a fort, it was a confusing one. It does not scream battle. It whispers something else. Some researchers suggest the mountain was a refuge, a place people went during danger, but did not live year-round. Others think it was a ceremonial site, a sacred high place where stone walls marked boundaries between normal space and spiritual space. That idea starts to make more sense when you notice how the walls seem to shape movement. They guide where you walk. They slow you down. They force you to pay attention. Indian Fort Mountain is not easy to climb, even today. Carrying stones up there without modern tools would have been exhausting. This means the builders cared deeply about this place. You do not struggle like that for something unimportant. Then, there is the silence. No carvings, no written symbols, no clear artifacts left behind to explain the purpose. Just stone and earth and forest reclaiming it slowly. Trees grow through the walls. Moss covers the rocks. Nature is taking it back, piece by piece. Standing there, it is easy to feel small. You realize how little we truly know about the people who lived here before history books began. They had reasons, they had beliefs, they had plans, and most of that has been lost. Over time, Indian Fort Mountain has collected stories. Some locals believe it was a gathering place for councils. Others say it was used to watch the valleys below, a lookout point rather than a fortress. There are even quiet rumors of it being aligned with the sun or stars, though nothing has been fully proven. Like many ancient sites, it sits in that space between science and wonder. Now, let's talk honestly about the condition of the site today, because this is where the mystery meets reality. On the positive side, Indian Fort Mountain is still largely wild. There are no large buildings on top, no parking lots cutting through the walls. That has helped preserve what remains. Hikers can visit, and the forest has protected the stones from complete destruction. The quiet is still there. You can walk for long stretches and hear nothing but wind and leaves. Another positive is that interest in the site has grown. More people are learning that these walls exist at all. Awareness matters. Forgotten places are the easiest to lose. But the negatives are serious. Erosion is a constant threat. Rain washes soil away from the stones. Freeze and thaw cycles crack and shift the walls. Trees grow roots that push rocks out of place. This damage is slow, but it never stops. Human damage is also a problem. Some visitors climb on the walls, not realizing how fragile they are. Others move stones, either out of curiosity or misunderstanding. A wall that stood for hundreds or thousands of years can be ruined by a few careless moments. There is also the issue of neglect. Indian Fort Mountain does not receive the same level of protection as more famous sites. There are limited signs explaining what the walls are. Without context, people do not always treat the place with respect. Mystery without education can lead to harm. What troubles me most is how close this site is to being forgotten. It does not have a big visitor center. It is not heavily promoted, and yet it holds one of the most puzzling ancient structures in Kentucky. If people do not care, it will slowly disappear, not with a dramatic collapse, but with quiet loss. My personal opinion is this: Indian Fort Mountain was not built for war. It feels wrong to see it only as a fort. The effort, the location, the strange layout, all suggest something deeper. I believe it was a place of meaning, maybe a boundary between worlds, maybe a safe place for ceremony during times of change. It feels intentional in a way that life goes beyond survival. Today, the present situation of Indian Fort Mountain is uncertain. The walls are still there, but they are weakening. The forest is both protector and threat. People visit, but not always with understanding. The site survives more by luck than by planning. If nothing changes, the stones will keep sinking, shifting, and vanishing into the ground. But if respect grows, if protection improves, this mountain could continue to stand as a quiet reminder that Kentucky's ancient past is far richer and stranger than most people realize. Indian Fort Mountain does not shout its story. It waits. And the real question is whether we will choose to listen before the stones fall silent. Carter Caves, petroglyphs. Some mysteries do not stand tall on hills or stretch across open land. Some hide in the dark, waiting quietly where few people think to look. Carter Caves in eastern Kentucky is one of those places. At first, it feels like a normal cave system. Cool air, dripping water, long passages carved by time. But deeper inside, where light fades and sound feels distant, the walls begin to speak, not with words, but with marks. Ancient marks, lines and shapes carved by human hands long before modern Kentucky existed. These are the Carter Caves petroglyphs, and they are among the most overlooked ancient mysteries in the region. When you hear the word cave, you might think of shelter or maybe danger. For ancient people, caves were both. They were places of safety, places of storage, and places of meaning. Darkness has always carried power. It hides things. It protects things. And for many cultures, caves were seen as entrances to another world. That belief alone makes the petroglyphs inside Carter Caves feel important. The carvings are not everywhere. You do not stumble into them right away. They appear in certain spots, often where the cave opens slightly, or where the walls are smoother. This tells us something right away. These marks were not random. Someone chose where to place them. The symbols themselves are simple, but that does not mean they are easy to understand. There are lines, shapes, crosses, circles, and abstract forms. Some look like stick figures. Others feel more symbolic, almost like ideas carved into stone. instead of pictures. No one has fully decoded them, and that is part of the mystery. Who made them? Most experts believe the carvings were made by Native American groups who lived in the region thousands of years ago. They may date back to the Archaic or Woodland periods. That means some of these marks could be older than many famous ancient sites in North America. They were carved using stone tools, slowly scratched into rock with patience and purpose. That effort matters. Carving into cave walls is not easy. You need light, you need time, you need reason. So why do it? One idea is that these caves were used for rituals. The darkness, the quiet, the echo of sound, all create an intense experience. Carving symbols inside could have been a way to mark sacred space. Another idea is that the petroglyphs told stories, not stories written in words, but stories remembered through symbols. Stories of animals, seasons, spirits, or journeys. Some people believe the carvings were meant to guide, not guide travelers in a physical sense, but guide the soul. Caves were often seen as places of rebirth, like entering the earth and coming back changed. The symbols may have played a role in that belief. There is also the chance that the petroglyphs marked ownership or presence, a way of saying, "We were here, this place matters." In a world without paper or ink, stone was the most permanent message you could bring. Leave. Standing inside Carter Caves, it is easy to imagine flickering firelight reflecting off the walls, shadows moving, voices echoing softly, someone kneeling, carving a shape that held meaning only their people fully understood. That moment is frozen in the rock, even if the meaning has faded. Like many ancient sites, Carter Caves sits between what we know and what we guess. Archaeology can tell us when people were there. It can tell us what tools they used. But it cannot fully explain belief. And belief is often the heart of mystery. Now, let's talk about the site today, because the present condition of Carter Caves petroglyphs is a mix of hope and concern. On the positive side, Carter Caves is a protected state park. That matters a lot. The caves are monitored and access is controlled. Not everyone can freely wander into every passage. This limits damage and helps preserve the carvings. Park staff and researchers understand the value of these markings, even if the public does not always hear about them. Another positive is the environment itself. Caves are naturally stable in temperature. This slows certain kinds of damage. The petroglyphs have survived thousands of years because they were hidden away from wind, sun, and heavy rain. Darkness, in this case, was protection. Education has also improved. More visitors are learning that caves are not just fun places to explore, but fragile historical spaces. Guided tours help reduce careless behavior and create respect. But the negatives are serious and cannot be ignored. The biggest threat is human touch. Oils from hands can damage ancient carvings. Even light contact can slowly wear down shallow lines. In the past, before rules were stricter, some carvings were traced, scratched, or even vandalized. Once damage happens, it cannot truly be undone. Another problem is moisture changes. Caves are sensitive systems. Changes in airflow, water movement, or human traffic can cause mineral buildup or erosion on the walls. Over time, this can blur or cover the carvings completely. There is also the issue of visibility. Because the petroglyphs are not widely advertised, they do not receive the attention or funding that larger sites do. Quiet places can be forgotten places, and forgotten places are vulnerable. Some carvings have already faded to the point where they are hard to see unless you know exactly where to look. That means future generations may never experience them. the way we can now. What makes this especially sad is that these carvings were likely meant to last. Stone was chosen because it survives. The people who made them believed the message mattered enough to carve into the earth itself. My personal opinion is that Carter Cave's petroglyphs deserve far more respect than they receive. They may not be as dramatic as massive mounds or long stone walls, but they are deeply human. Someone stood there in the dark and chose to leave a mark. That simple act connects us across thousands of trees, of years. I do not believe these carvings were casual. I think they were made with care and meaning, even if that meaning is now lost. And maybe that loss is part of the lesson. Not everything is meant to be fully understood. Some things are meant to be felt. Today, the present situation of the Carter Cave's petroglyphs is delicate. They still exist. They are still protected, but they are fading. Time, moisture, and human presence continue to shape their future. Whether they survive another 1,000 years depends on how carefully we treat them now. Carter Caves does not announce its mystery loudly. It hides it in shadows. And maybe that is exactly how it has survived this long. The real question is whether we can protect something we barely see, and whether we can respect a message we may never fully read.